The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old.
So if you take a quick sniff of the air, a quick catch of the breeze, you might notice pumpkin just floating in the distance.
A scent of pumpkin.
A whiff of pumpkin in the distance, which can only mean that the summer of beers is very slowly coming to a close, which we always like to do by subjecting ourselves to pumpkin spice beer towards the end of the season.
That's right.
We'll have to see. We're entering into September. I'll have to see how many pull the trigger too early as opposed to August or October.
Yeah.
But we'll keep running up until there's an avalanche of pumpkin beers, and we'll get into it. So summer beer is closing up. Do get in the recommendations at our Twitter or our website at New Dad Gaming or newdadgaming.com. Meanwhile, though, this week it was just beer.
Yeah.
We drank. It was
That's it.
wonderful. But there's nothing in big particular. Couldn't find any recommendations from the listeners. Keep sending those in, though, please. I mean, I had some from Waterloo Brewing, one of my favorites. Wellington, which is based in, I think, like kind of Guelph, which is delicious if you can ever find it. Like anything kind of come top of your head, or was it just clean, easy drinking?
I had a couple down from breweries downtown Toronto that were pretty good. I've never heard of them before, so they might be new to the field, and they're pumping out good stuff. So I'll see if I grab another one for next week.
Very good. Okay, so new dads, send it in as we wrap up the summer of beers. It's been another wonderful one. We're really excited about it. Now, a great place for drinking is the child entertainment place of Dave & Buster's.
That's right.
And that's where Jeff had gone. And I fell out of my chair practically when you're explaining the tomfoolery that the kids there were participating in. Like, why do you lay down what happened in this shameful display?
Yeah, this was another birthday party. It's like the summer of birthday parties everywhere. Not my own, but my 12-year-old was invited and to Dave & Buster's for one of their friends that they've kept in touch with all summer. Like, they play online games all the time. So dropped them off, said goodbye, have fun, that's great. And then a couple hours roll by, I have to go pick them up again, and I have to go in and find them. And these are one of those places where they don't stick to a table. Like, it's like a maze, like a labyrinth. Like, you have to go find your kid because the parents that are doing the birthday, they're like, I don't know where he is.
Like, I don't know. I've just been sitting at this table.
Yeah. I'm out there trying to survive, right? Like, so they're like, yeah, he's out there somewhere. So I go searching, and I check, like, the Minecraft arcade. I check the Mario Kart arcade. There's, like, a Halo game that they were playing last time. No, nowhere to be found. Where do I find them, Trevor? They're in the corner. All the friends together on their phones playing mobile games on their phones.
They were at, like I don't know if you've ever seen Dave & Buster's. Like, it looks amazing. Like, these games are so much fun. You're getting tickets, you're running to the front, you're getting toys.
Yeah.
Shooters, sports games, whack-a-mole, like anything you want to get into. Playing a damn mobile, you are going to play that tonight, later.
Oh, like immediately after the birthday, when we got home, they all jumped online. So it was immediately after that they played this game again. But yeah, you're right. Like, Dave & Buster's, like, they kept up with the modern gaming, and it's not like, did you ever go to Chuck E. Cheese? Is that a thing with our listeners? Like, it was not really like current times when you were there, and like things just started to kind of break down, and like, they probably had Pac-Man, and that was it. These, like, are, state-of-the-art games, and they've kept up with it, and they're on their phones playing this other game. So I don't know what to do, Trevor. I don't know.
It's upsetting, and it's like I'm not sure what the angle would be. It's like, okay, I the father will remove the phone from my son before he gets into it. Like, the parents who are running the event, should they have been trying to egg them on a little bit to play? But it's kind of tough too, because it's like, look, if this is what you kids want to do, I'll tell you this. Okay, here's the detail. If the son who wanted to have this, or the kid who wanted to have the party at this place,
right,
didn't really want to go to this place,
like, that would be different. Yeah.
So, but if he said, "Mom, please just bring me to Dave & Buster's," then this happened. That's a problem. If it was more like, I don't know, I don't want these kids in my house, let's go to Dave & Buster's, and then and that's just where they ended up, and
I
Man, it's
mean,
so upset. I can remember there was, and you might remember because it's somewhat in your area. There was a unbelievable arcade called I think it's Palladium,
oh yeah, yep,
and it's like Dave and Buster's, but 1,000 times, and super hyper focused on gaming.
yeah.
So like the gaming rigs, like it was just the wildest time, and just flashing lights, neons, all the great things, and I could just recall my unbelievable excitement to be there. And I'm just trying to imagine going to that place, my parents shelling out the cash to get me in the door
Yeah.
and get me the tickets, and then I'm just sitting on the phone with like Roblox. Like, "Yeah. So what do you want to do tonight, son? More Roblox.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I just hope that they were on Wi-Fi and not using their parents' cell phone data, because then it's like even more price per person to get this birthday going. So
So
yeah, I don't
let-
know. It's
let's extend that thought experiment. So your son wants to go to Dave and Buster's. Or like, yeah, why don't we do it there? And then you bring them and you see them all, the group of friends doing it. Like, how would you act as a dad? That's actually fairly difficult, it feels like.
yeah, I think if my 12-year-old wanted the birthday there, and knowing just how much it does cost to get a birthday at one of these places, I think I would just like maybe kind of coerce them to go. Like, hey, look, what is this game all about? And hey, look,
Mm,
Mario Kart's opened up. Everyone can play 4 player or whatever. I think I would try to guide them into something else, knowing that they want to do the thing. I get it, right? Like
mm-hmm.
that's what they're all together on. That's probably like almost like an inside joke thing, right? Like they're having a blast. I get it, but let's try out new things and get into these other things that you have free reign over, like new experiences, and you can have that when we're eating or something,
Mm-hmm.
right? Get back on the phones. That's not a problem. But yeah,
Yeah.
or otherwise, I'm taking your pass and I'm going out there.
How you doing, Dad? Doing great. Ba-da-ding,
Yeah,
ba-da-ding,
exactly.
ba-da-ding, ba-da-ding.
Racking up the points. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So I don't know.
I don't know, it's disappointing is the wrong word because again, it's his birthday. They're the ones having fun. I
Yeah.
don't want to, old man it around like, well, back in my day, or like, oh,
Right.
if I'm gonna bring you to this place, you have to. That's their type of fun,
Yeah.
and they're having fun, and it's that guy's birthday, and if that's what he wanted to do, great. But it's
Yeah.
that's a little bit hard. Uh, Man, but again, my problem is just like those places excited me as a kid. So like just putting myself on those shoes, like, come on, man, I would have loved this.
I mean, these people need your money. Otherwise, they're going to close down like Palladium. Like, they're going to go away.
Oh, now just all. So new dads, if you've had similar experiences like that, write into us at New Dad Gaming. I'd love to hear other stories of birthday fails in some ways. I was trying to think about, trampoline parks, indoor play centers, rock climbing, bowling.
Yeah.
Does anyone just like go off and someone brings out a switch and it's just all for nothing?
That's it. That's it. It's gone. Yeah.
Oh, now, one game that I did jump into, so at least somebody was doing some gaming.
That's good.
And that myself was Elden Ring. Another dad, vis-a-vis me, has entered Elden Ring
Yay.
at long last. It was not on sale, unfortunately. I would have preferred if it was a little bit cheaper, and it was on PC.
Yeah.
I decided to go for it
Nice.
for reasons
nice.
I'll explain in a while. But it's like, man, this world, like it is so stunning. I'm so excited that I finally got to get into it.
Yeah.
After like kind of admiring it from afar, and all the type of Souls games, you just hear so much about it. Like to finally get in it and enter in at a place like Elden Ring has been especially stunning. Have you touched this game at all since having beat it?
My kids want me to go back and beat it again. Because there's
it, Dad. You sure you're not just gonna bring out your phone and play Roblox while I'm doing
that's
it?
right. That's right. There's like 2 other endings that you need for the platinum on PlayStation, and then there's 6 endings total. But they want me to run through it again at least 2 other times. So, and they want to see all like the magic spells. Like, there's a whole different like amount of builds you can do with this game. So, I am being egged on by my own kids to get back in this game. So, I think I will return. I haven't yet though. It's like
That
one
is
of those things like I need to come down from.
Right. That is amazing though, right? Like
Yeah,
the fact
yeah.
that like your kids, like the sentence I'm hearing in my ear, which grants me so much hope for my future, is the fact that your kids are asking you
Yeah.
to go play a game for them so you can all participate. That's amazing, man. Like that's the dream.
It is the dream because then I get to play and they get to watch, and it's
That's
like
right.
those times where like my little brother would watch me and be like, "Oh, I'll play the game for you," right? So
Yeah, you got your support crew. That's
yeah,
good. Like your kids are
perfect.
supporting you. Thanks, kids. I knew I had you guys for a reason.
That's right. Hold my hand. I'm going through the scary dungeon. Thank you. All right.
Now, for the longest time, my trepidation with Elden Ring was I don't have I'm not that great at games anymore, and my gaming time specifically right now in my life is very limited. I have
Yeah.
very limited time, so I could appreciate one of the things that many people like about these games, Souls games, is the difficulty. It takes really long to get good and like learn the mechanics, learn the bosses, and figure it out. And that in fact becomes part of the journey.
Yeah.
For me, that was a huge impediment because I just couldn't get past it. The amount of time commitment I was going to have, it just didn't mesh with my current lifestyle.
Right.
So, but amazingly, and it actually ties in nicely, is like we had a sponsor for the episode reach out to us for this, and it enabled me to play Elden Ring because
Fantastic.
this is a modern day Game Genie. This is the Game Genie for it. So this is a for PC, and this is why I ended up buying on PC, having an opportunity to speak with them. They'd heard us before in an episode talking about, oh, if only there was a Game Genie
Right.
that wasn't just hacking my computer, which is garbage. No, they've built it. So this is called it's called Plitch. So this is like Plitch. If you go to plitch.com, you can see this piece of software you can. They actually have a free tier for the software, so you can download it. It downloads to your PC, and it allows you to choose from. They have over 3,530 games as of this recording
Yeah.
that they have codes for. What's is particularly cool about this, like that, and they are gamers. Like I had an opportunity to speak with Marcus, who is the COO and managing director, and we're actually going to play an interview I had with him because we were interested to kind of learn more about the software and how they came about it. But when you talk to them, you can tell that they're gamers, and this wasn't so much about like if you want to get to the top of Call of Duty competitive ladders, like here's our cheats, ha ha ha. Like
Right.
this is very much our case where it's for someone like me. Would you like infinite like health? Would you like infinite carry? Just to make your life a bit easier so you can get through this game and you can enjoy the lore. Here's the interesting one. You can actually make it harder. You can
Oh
reduce
yeah.
your
Yeah.
HP. You can make the AI faster. You can make them harder to kill. You can double their HP. So you could be, and we talk about this in the interview, in a shooter, for instance, if you're playing single player, you can greatly increase the AI. You can increase how hard it is to kill them. So it ends up being almost like a training
Yeah.
for them. And I really love that. And the very specific thing I mentioned, it's not cheating because they are incredibly specific in what they allow you to edit. So with Elden Ring, for instance, if I'm not allowed, if you have the software running, the way it works is like it does not work in multiplayer.
Right. Yeah. That would
You
be frustrating.
Well, that sucks. Right? That's
Yeah.
not the part. It's not like I want to become infinite so I can go into someone else's game and ruin it. Like
Right.
no, like it turns off. It only works in single player, and that's for all of these cheats and codes. This is for single player experiences. If you want to challenge yourself more with some interesting type of dynamics, or you want to just, in my case, remove some of the challenge so that you can get into the game and experience it. If you
Yeah.
don't have the time to like spend like 1,000 hours getting good at a particular game.
Well, yeah, and that's just kind of it. We were just talking there about my second, third run through Elden Ring. So if it's something that can kind of expedite,
That's that is a very interesting
right?
angle.
And something that can kind of give me in the game you collect runes and they boost your stats and you get access to weapons and armor and stuff that you didn't before.
Hmm.
And usually you'd have to do this grind to get all that stuff. But if I have something like this, be like, look, I beat the game. I don't need to go through the whole like rigmarole again. I just need the things. Just give me the things, right?
That yeah,
Immediately get it and I'm good, right? That would be just a one. And this thing acts like it's its own little app or skin that pops up, and you could just activate it, any cheat that you kind of want,
yeah.
and jump right in and launch the game from their app.
So that's a really great point. Like I remember that with Fallout 4. Like one of my greatest moments is when I found the console and I was able to enter in no carry limits.
Yeah,
And that's all I wanted, and it changed the game. It was fantastic for me. And so very much like this, as opposed you who enjoys the challenge in the game, at very least, I don't want to kill 1,000 frogmen in order to get the slightly better sword. So I'm just going to give myself those runes. And especially for someone like you who's already gone through the game
Yeah.
once, it's like, this is just like a victory lap. I'm just trying to have some fun.
Yeah.
I don't need to grind for another 200 hours. Uh, yeah, so I mean, so they have free Plitch.com. It has a free tier. So all games kind of come with a few free cheats that you can enable. So for Elden Ring, for instance, it's activate first, prepare, health and energy, unlimited stamina, which is a pretty sweet one. And
Helps.
skills and experience, you can set faith and set endurance. Not bad for free software. Download it off you get, and then for premium, anything and everything. There's some hilarious ones here for just making you entirely overpowered. So I did
Yeah.
want to get, I want to get into the interview. So as I said, it was really great to speak with him. He definitely was a gamer, and he got it. This wasn't about cheating. This was about enhancing and helping the gaming experience. And as gaming dads with such short time, it really
Yeah.
struck a nerve. Really enjoyed our conversation. So check it out. This is Marcus, COO of Plitch. I am joined by Marcus, the COO and managing director from Plitch, which might be one of the most interesting pieces of software to as a small giveaway here. Like I've gotten into Elden Ring, as discussed on our podcast here. I've been desperate to play this game, have never been able to do it, but Plitch has actually allowed me to do it, and we're going to learn all about it here today. Marcus, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Really excited to be here, and I'm glad to hear that you got into Elden Ring thanks to Pledge.
Yeah, I was so terrified. I'm telling you, like this whole get good kind of mentality. There's no difficulty settings, and I was just I can't spend the time. I'm a busy dad. I cannot spend the time to get good. I have other things to do. But when I discovered about Plitch and we started having a conversation about it, I couldn't believe it. This very much carries on the legacy of Game Shark and Game Genie, which is very much a part of our kind of gaming childhood. Could you discuss that a bit? Like, was it inspiration of? Was it the next generation of this? Like, what's your take on being the next iteration, really, of the Game
Mm.
Genie?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much see Pledge as like the next evolution of like the original Game Genie. Just bringing it into the 21st century, moving it onto PC as well, just not console how it used to be. Our co-founder Christian, he's been doing this for over 20 years. He
Hmm.
started it as a hobby, and he had one of those, I think, Action Replay it was called in Germany, which is pretty much the same thing as the Game Genie and stuff. He
Hmm.
had that on his console, so he
Nice.
obviously got inspired by using it and then bringing it onto PC. Because I mean, cheats and video games have
Hmm.
always existed together. Cheating in video
Hmm.
games is just as old as video games itself. They just go hand in hand. It's just only now that we have like this stigma that people always think, okay, if somebody's using cheats or they say they're cheating, that they're doing it in multiplayer. But
Hmm.
obviously, what we're doing is single player only. So you mentioned Elden Ring with Pledge, and similar to the Game Genie, where you could only use it for yourself. You can just enhance
Hmm.
your own gaming experience without interfering on the experience of others.
Yeah, it's funny. You almost have to use the word cheat to try to get it into people's head. Look, this is like the Game Genie back from the youth, but the difference is you're not cheating. Would really be more I'm using an unfair advantage to beat another person. But in this
Yeah.
guy's, and much like my own experience, it's very much just how about you tweak the game so that you can actually play it and have a great time. So I mean, with that in mind, when you and your company are building this software, like who are you trying to help? Like who are you hoping to reach and better gaming experiences?
Well, we see with Pledge, what we really want to do pretty much is reach every gamer out there, regardless of background and like skill level and everything.
Hmm.
But it started out originally when our co-founder did it over 20 years ago. He mainly did it for himself first,
Hmm.
because he was like very big, like in the mod community of Civilization. So that's where he started with
Oh,
like
nice.
Football Manager and Civilization. So he started it there for himself, wrote like cheats and trainers for himself, and he's like, ah, maybe I should just share this with the community where I'm also part of with my mods and stuff. So
Hmm.
that's how he like got a start like 20 years ago. And then when we founded the company like in 2015, we really moved into pretty much what is your target audience as well, because you mentioned it yourself in your first sentence. You don't have time to get good. You're a dad. Life pretty much happened. We all
Hmm.
used to game a lot when we were younger, and now we really thought that this is a software pretty much for everybody, but the core demographic is really busy mom and dads out there
Hmm.
who still love gaming, who just don't have time and don't want to waste that little time frame they have, like let's say like an hour per month or something, or an hour per week to actually game. And that's really what Blitz is designed for. And this is like our main target audience as well. So we have that in common pretty much.
Nice. No, I love that. You're reaching out to mums and dads, like busy mums and dads who just want to play a game and not face the terrible hurdles that would take up too much time to get past it is laudable. It's fantastic. I do wonder though about the other side of it, because one part of the software I found really interesting is, besides for someone like myself lowering the difficulty, is actually you can increase the difficulty. And it was kind of fascinating because I remember that back in the Atari days, there was a famous group of people who made a business. They got sued a lot because they would go into the chips and physically alter it to make, I think it was Asteroids, much difficulty. So there's kind of a legacy there. But do you feel that's like we often get asked by parents, like, my kid wants to train to become a professional gamer. And it sort of seems that bleeds into that, where it's like, if you want to go against bots and have them be so much better, we have codes and cheats too, where you can actually increase the difficulty. Could you speak to that a bit as well, and what kind of like your approach to increasing difficulty for folks who want the challenge?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, what I mentioned earlier with like let's call it like the traditional codes and stuff that we have, which make the game easier. This was for like our main target audience for mom and dads. But yeah, to reach younger gamers or younger people who really, like you mentioned, might want to become professional esport players at some point in their lives, they really have to train. And I think there's only so much you can train against other people, because the more you fight the same enemy, the enemy knows everything you're doing, and the other way around as well. If it's like a real player, like PvP at the end of the day. And with Twitch, you can pretty much tailor all that experience to yourself. So you can make some aspects of the game more challenging, but in retrospect, you could make others more easy as well. So let's say if you just want to train like a certain skill set, let's just say like your aim or something, and you really get annoyed with always having to pick up ammo and stuff like this. You could just use unlimited ammo, but then increase the difficulty of the AI and something like this to train like the headshots and stuff like this. So we pretty much put that in, and that's also one of the unique aspects that we have. We're the only trainer software out there which allows you to do it both ways. So you can completely tailor it to your own experience. And yeah, for younger people, they can definitely use it to train. They can set up like their own, we call them like virtual training rooms, pretty much, how you just tailor your own experience to train a certain skill set. And it should really help them, to fine-tune some skills.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I can remember that one of my cheats that I did use in Fallout 4 was the weight system just bothered the heck out of me. Inventory and weight.
Oh yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
just-
Every RPG, I don't want to be overcumbered when I'm playing. I just want to hoard everything,
Yeah.
I might need it at some point. Just let me carry everything.
So it's like the two experiences I get in this game is I'm fighting dragons as they descend from the sky, and I'm also managing my weight inside of my bag. Like, that's sort of too wide of a divergence. So like, it was one of my favorites.
The Witcher 3, for example, I finished like without any cheats and stuff like this back in the day. The only thing I used was the no weight cheat that we also have in Pledge, because I'm not a hoarder in real life, just like with video games, but I think we all have like our Steam library with like a couple thousand games that we all pick up on random sales and never really play. So those obviously get hoarded and collect virtual dust. But yeah, in RPGs or something, I might need this at some point. Just let me have it.
It's like, sure, I could only have 10 potions, but what if I need 100? Just come on,
Exactly.
game, let me be.
You never know.
I did like that aspect of it too. There's some games that I want to get into. I really want to immerse myself and like try and like understand the world. There's others that I am interested in playing, but I kind of want to just blast through it. You've seen some games embrace this as far as like easy mode or whatever, but many times not. So what I did like about Plitch, maybe you could speak to it, was with regards to backlog, it kind of lets you blast through some experiences to get the story and kind of so you don't have to spend so much gaming time on so many games. You can kind of just get the core experience of it and have it without having to worry about inventory management, as we're just complaining about, right?
Yeah, or inventory management, or in some parts just grinding for resources for like hours on end. That's also stuff like you wouldn't see in like when people stream on Twitch. They like obviously would always leave that out because it's not very interesting for the audience. But if you play for yourself, certain games like Anno or something like this, you just have to grind hours for resources. Yeah, and with Twitch you can just speed through that part of the game. Let's say to get like to the good part. And I think also Twitch helps you more or less to get through the backlog of games you have. Like you mentioned, yeah, you can just tailor it to how you want to play this. I still have a lot of games that I eventually started, put like 2 to 3 hours in, but never really finished, But you could easily go back to them in Pledge and then just skip over the annoying part. And what we also notice is if a game has like almost a game-breaking bug, sometimes with Pledge you can sometimes even get through that and avoid that, And that's like stuff we then tell the developers and the publisher as well, that we found a way to get like through one of their totally annoying bugs or something like this. So we're in dialogue there as well. So yeah, you can just pretty much play how you want to play. And I'm still not through all my gazillion backlog games with this,
Yeah,
but
no one is.
I think without it, it would be humanly impossible.
Yeah. If you're any type of gamer, you'll never get through the backlog. It's Icarus for sure.
Yeah.
Now that you did bring up a good point about streaming. I was curious how streamers have embraced this software, and you just brought up a really great version of it where, as a streamer, let me streamline some of the worst parts, like the boring parts of this game, be it inventory management, whatever, so I can focus on the exciting parts my audience actually wants to see. Now, obviously, there's an issue with the multiplayer. You wouldn't want to use it, but you guys are very upfront about that. So what has been the experience with streamers, and where have you found the benefits of using Plitch while streaming on Twitch?
Yeah, I mean, we have 2 in-house streamers as well. They stream like twice a week on our own Twitch channel. You guys can check that out if you want to. But also, like from the conversations we had with people, I think it's a cool thing to use to showcase. Like if you really get into it, as long as you're like upfront about it, what you're doing. Sometimes we've seen it that people just activated some cheats before and suddenly have like 99 billion gold coins or something, and then the audience is like, what did you do, what happened there? And if they don't interact, it's kind of weird. But from the people who have used our software, they were always upfront about it, telling the audience, you can skip through this annoying part here, for example, using Pledge, or like in Dying Light, which is like such a long game, and also takes a long time to level up and get stuff like this. So one of our friends who also streams a lot, Hip Hop Gamer, he is always very upfront when he uses Pledge. He's like, yeah, I just unlocked all of this with Pledge, so I can show you the cool part of the game, and you don't see me grinding for hours on end, because the audience obviously would not stay for that. It's not interesting to watch.
No, that's fantastic. Yeah, I think as long as they're upfront and not doing multiplayer, like
Yeah.
that produces such a better entertainment product when you come to think about it. Like, no, well, I have to get to level 30, so everybody pay attention for the next 2 hours as I kill rats and try to get up there.
Exactly.
So it's great as single player, and obviously when we had the old consoles and the old Game Genie and Game Sharks, it was perfect because it was just your own offline little Nintendo or Super Nintendo. You were putting in your cheats and you were having a great time. So many more games though right now are online, and worse, like competitive. So, and as soon as you mentioned cheat, the big controversy there, of course, because there's been a couple Twitch streamers who were nailed for this type of thing. But as best as I understand, is like you have a very unique approach in that it's really focused on the single player, and not just implied that you should. But as far as I understand, it's actually built into the software that it's only for single player. Is that correct? Making this safe to use.
Yeah, that is correct. Everybody pretty much who works in the company, we're gamers first, and then we're like Plitchers second, pretty much, But we like people to have fun in multiplayer, so we actively put in like technological solutions that avoids Plitch being misused online. So it's really just for yourself, You bought a game, it's a single player game, play it however you want to play it. Plitch will help you do that. And we actively make sure that you can't misuse it and ruin somebody else's experience, because that's really not the point,
That's amazing. So if I try to fire up Call of Duty and like, all right, time to pawn some noobs using the software, you're not going to let me do that with multiplayer.
Nope.
All right, noobs, you win this round. Don't worry about it. Now, so speaking of leveling up, grinding, and everything else, so you yourself as a gamer, do you have like a favorite gaming moment that you can recall, be it with a loved one, a parent, a kid, just anything else? Does any particular moment come to your mind as a favorite gaming moment?
Yeah, I mean,
easy question, right?
yeah. I mean, I have a lot of good gaming moments, but I'm 34 now. So when I was in my teenage years, the internet was in like its baby steps, and online play and stuff like this was not really a thing. So what we had a lot in my teenage years was like huge LAN parties that we went to.
Amazing.
And back in the old day, when you didn't have like a small monitor, like a small light monitor, you had like your old CRT that weighed like, I don't know, 20 kilos or something. So you you schlepped that around to like your friend's house, and then we used to play like a lot of. What we played a lot was like Call of Duty 2 on one of the
Nice.
maps set in France and stuff like this, and also Counter Strike and stuff like this. But those are like some of my favorite gaming memories, just like with 4 or 5 friends, in your mom's basement, eating frozen pizza or ordering pizza, drinking like soft drinks and playing till like 10 a.m. in the morning or something. Now, when I
Yeah.
play longer than 1 hour, I'm like, how did I ever do this?
Age
How
comes
did this
first, though.
work?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. But those were definitely some very good times. And let's see if
Yeah.
I could ever do that again. Probably not.
Yeah, we're on the show. We're very curious about the other side of it, where, as exactly as you said, as kids, we were down there. We'd play until like the wee hours in the morning, pizza, Mountain Dew, whatever. And now, as fathers on the show, we're wondering about when our own kids start to go through it. Like, how's it going to make us feel just watching them guzzle sugar, eat pizza, and just like get no sleep? It's gonna be a bit of a different experience, but one we're kind of excited for nonetheless. So that's amazing, Marcus. I can't thank you enough for joining us here. And like, I'm not kidding you. So when we first started to talk, it was not 2 episodes since after I was incredibly saddened with the fact of how I would never get to play Elden Ring. We've multiple times on the show talked about there should be a game genie for the modern generation, and lo and behold, here you guys are doing it. I've used the software; it's excellent. You guys are really doing great work. Especially, and then especially hear you talk. It's not just about it's about playing your way, so you can reduce difficulties or reduce certain parts, customize it even as far as just no inventory or God mode. What do you want to do? Do you want to practice and you want to train? Up the difficulty, get it going. So you're really just enabling gamers to game more, which I think is just so fantastic, which made me so excited that we're able to have a conversation here today. And especially like the dedication, as you said, you guys are gamers first who built this, so you're making sure this isn't about cheating on multiplayer, and in fact even could be an advantage for streamers to create a more entertaining product as they're doing it. So yeah, gaming dads listening, I can't implore you enough to go check this out. It's a fantastic piece of software. I can vouch for it for sure. It's been an absolute blast. So Marcus, I really want to thank you for joining me here. And if people want to come and check out this amazing software, where could they learn more?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. I'm glad you're enjoying it, and maybe you will actually finish Elden Ring. If you guys want to learn more, just go to plitch.com. The software is a free download. Just try it out. We cover over 3,500 games, so I'm pretty sure your favorite game is in there. And if you want to follow us on social, we're on all the big platforms, ranging from Twitter, TikTok, and everything. So it's all on plitch.com. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Marcus. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
And that was the interview. As I said, as you can hear, like I just found to be a very great guy. You could just tell he was a gamer at heart. Like, this is a team that came together that just loved playing games, and they happened to build a software, so not manipulative, just really wonderful. Even better, so they have, for our listeners, given us codes to give away for the premium version of this, 3 months of premium using Plitch. So we're going to be doing a giveaway to listeners. All you have to do is this week, so the week coming up of the August 28th, for up until Friday, we're going to pin a tweet. Check our timeline. It'll be up there at some point on Monday. And on that tweet, it's going to be announcing the giveaway, explaining what it is. It's 5 premium codes that they've very graciously given to us. All you have to do to enter is retweet it and leave a comment about what game would you use this software for. So are you like me? Do you want to like dive into some Elden Ring finally? Is there, Valheim, you want to get like unlimited crafting and have a silly skyscraper? Like, what would you actually play? So retweet us, leave a comment on which game you'd use it for, and we'll be picking at random the 5 codes to give out by the end of the week. So at New Dad Gaming to check that one out. Now, cheating is what maybe could be referenced for some local neighborhood kids. I'm just saying it's not it's not cheating software. And then my next transition is like, oh, well, it's cheating. But using their untold advantage,
Yeah.
local neighborhood kids, I think, have been bamboozling my son out of good Pokemon cards.
No, no.
He keeps running back. He's so excited about all this trading going on. So
Of course.
I think it was through a couple birthdays that they just had included some packs.
Yep.
He's acquired like 10 to 15 cards. But he thinks they're super cool. Like, he looks at them and he'll read them. He's like, oh, this one's super powerful, as far as he might understand it.
Yeah.
And he just keeps coming back, and he's like, oh, my friend, he traded me. he traded me this card. He traded it for this one. And it's like, are you? Do you know what your trade was? The one that you traded, was it a shiny Charizard that happens to be worth a couple million? Like, what are you trading? Do you understand it? And I just get this impression. I'll say this: like the local, they are good kids. So I don't think they're being nefarious. I don't think that's like, ha ha ha, we're gonna like cheat this kid of everything he's got. But I for sure know that they have a lot more of an inside track than my son. But he's happy.
That's good.
He comes back happy every time. Like maybe himself in like 5 years won't be because he'll realize what he's done. But at the moment he's happy. Have you had anything with this with your kids and not knowing what they're doing when dealing and trading with other kids or older kids?
Yeah, especially Pokemon. This is a game that I don't think they've ever actually played the game itself. They've just collected the cards. So,
Never
no. We tried once, but they were just not interested in it. And now we have binders and binders of Pokemon cards that are like slotted in those plastic sleeves.
Oh yeah.
That they look through. They have their guidebook that lists them all. That's it, man. Like that that is the extent of how they play Pokemon. But just coincidentally this week, my kids were those older kids trading to younger kids because our neighbors just got back from vacation and they met up and they wanted to do Pokemon cards. And my older one traded a whole bunch of his away, but it was more from like, oh no, they just got back and I wanted to make them happy. So I gave him like a lot of the good cards that I know are good in the game, but you know, he wanted them. So I gave it to him. I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. Like, that's great. That's a good thing to make them feel good, but just, you know, just be aware of, you know, what you're giving away. And then, you know, you're not asking for Pokemon cards again for your birthday. Like this is, we're not doing that song and dance. I'm not going to watch like those cards just walk out the door. So
It keeps coming. It's like, this one looks cool.
yeah.
Which again, man, if you're never going to play the game and you wouldn't understand how to put together a deck to begin with, and maybe like you, he'll never know. He'll never want to even try it. So perhaps it's all for nothing, right? But there's just something. It keeps coming back. Like, hey, look at this. It's like, what did you give? Like, what was the deal, man?
You're just like another Ditto. Why did you do that?
Why do you have 14 Dittos, man?
I just think they're cute.
Just like them.
Just like them.
Oh Lord, so it's absolutely fast. So what I've done is so the second part that it kind of bleeds into adults ruining kids' toys, where you can't find these cards anywhere. They're in super short stock, and anywhere now you find them, the price is just jacked astronomically, and it's so upsetting because somewhere there's kids like my son who just wants to have a few cards and do some trades. There's other guys who just want to play. There's some kids who just want to play and have a good time with this, and like there's these adults like wheeling and dealing and hustling to make money because a bunch of these cards are so worthwhile. I can appreciate like people trying to make money, but at the same time, just these adults ruining this kids game. Like, I don't know how you've kind of rectified that with sometimes when your kids come like, hey, can we get some of this? It's like, not because some adults apparently.
Well, now they're moved behind the counter at a lot of places, right? Like we go into a GameStop and they're no longer on the shelf. They're behind the desk. So you have to ask for them. And that actually saves me some money and them some money because they don't see them, right? You have to ask for them, and they're not looking for that. They're looking for the graphics, right? So, but it's one of those things where like, oh, now you have a barrier to this type of game, and you know, there's less of that going to the next generation of kids growing up. That's all, right? That's kind of crummy.
And I even thought, okay, so I'll go to like Marketplace or Kijiji or like classified sites, and I'll try to find, okay, somebody must be, hey, here's a box full of Pokemon card. I don't play anymore, but that doesn't exist because those have been cleared out by adults trying to make money.
They're the first ones to go. Yeah,
it's here it is. Send me your offers for the like this shiny Pikachu or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're just all trying to make money now off of it. Yeah. So the thing that I found is on Amazon, there was a 50-pack of cards for $10.
Wow.
Is that bad like math? Like
I don't know. It seems sketchy now.
Oh, no, okay. Now here's the thing. I have come to learn that apparently there are a lot of counterfeits.
There are. Yes, there are. Yes.
I don't care, Jeff.
I know.
This is about my kid playing the game, Jeff. I don't care to make money on these damn cards.
You give them to your kid, and you're like, "Hey, trade these ones."
Yeah. You can play at this game. Hey, Hey,
That's
hey, neighborhood kid, come on over. My son got a whole bunch of really cool
that's
Pokemon
right.
cards.
You're just playing a
Sucker.
different game. You're stacking his deck, right? Like you're just.
Oh my
I get
god.
it. I get it.
Oh, the trickster has become tricked. Oh
Yeah.
Lord, that would be phenomenal. That wasn't the okay, I'm glad. I thought you were gonna go the other way. That's too expensive.
No, no. I just.
Okay, because what I think it is that this is probably somebody who has gone through and got all the really rare or like worthwhile cards, and these are just like the drop offs. Like these are lousy cards, and they just need to get rid of them. So like, but from what we're doing with them, which is not playing, or even if we play, it's not going to be competitive. And he's just shuffling around a bunch and seeing them. It seemed perfect. It's like I don't care. He doesn't care what these cards are.
No,
I don't
no.
care what these cards are. I suppose the one slight downfall is that if the neighborhood kids are trading on value, they might recognize all these cards as garbage and not want any of them. So my
That's
son's trading now is going to stop.
that's true.
But that's the part to be seen. I will report back on it. But at very least, it seems like a decent angle. And I'm thinking if his interest keeps up, I would probably like to get a few more of those, just to put a deck together and try to play the game.
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe, he would like to actually play this game
Maybe.
that he has all these cards for.
Don't hold out hope. My kids never
I
did. So.
probably not. It's not Elden Ring. What can I say? Like,
That's
it's just
right.
like-
That's right. Yeah.
It's hard to go. All right, everybody. We'll wrap it up there for the week. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks once again to the sponsor of the episode, Plitch. Fantastic interview with Marcus. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And please check out our Twitter. If you're first listening to this is August, the week of August 28th, 2022. Go to our Twitter. We'll pin the tweet for the entire week. Retweet it. Leave a comment which game you want, and you could win one of the 5 codes to get premium Plitch for 3 months. And as a user of it, like I've been having an absolute blast. So
Yep.
it's fun. Find a game you want to beat. Take those 3 months, beat it, and enjoy yourself. Take the victory lap.
Absolutely.
If you like the episode of the podcast, you can find us on all the major podcasting networks. You can find us on Stitcher, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Caster, Google Play, anywhere where you get your podcast. Just search for New Dad Gaming. If you want to get a hold of us, you can find us at our website, newdadgaming.com, or on Twitter at New Dad Gaming. Love your gaming dad stories. Do love your beer recommendations as we wind down the gaming, the summer of beers, as we always do. If you've had similar experiences with Dave and Buster's, or just any birthday, or taking to any arcade and all they want to do is play on their phone, would love to hear how you would handle it. Got any hot Pokemon tips for like on
Some
where
trades.
to find cards? Yeah, what's the good trades to make? You got to let me know. We'd love to hear from you again. NewDadGaming.com at NewDadGaming. Subscribe to the podcast, New Dad Gaming, and if you can leave a comment or a rating on any of those services, or helps out greatly. So everybody, thank you so much for listening. Until next week, my name is Trevor. Down about 30 Pokemon cards with a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, and waiting for Trevor to finish the Elden Ring. Let me know.
That's right. No, we'll give you a little teaser for next week. I gave this to Jeff in the pre-show. There is a song that was sung to me by a cousin and a brother that involved me and chicken soup. And it was the most annoying thing in the entirety of my life. And it's now cascaded down into my own sons as I was watching what they were playing with. And this is something, the chicken soup song story is one that we're going to be discussing next week. Do turn in.
I need to hear it. I need to hear it.
It's like, what could it possibly be?
I need to know. I need to know. Stop it.
Song, chicken soup, anger. What are you talking about?
So curious as what this means.
You insist that on the week, and anyone else who stayed this long, you enjoy sitting on that for the week.
Can't wait.
All right, buddy. We'll see you next week. Okay?
Good.